Y'all ready?
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
All right, welcome back. eSIM Studios. We are live on YouTube and on TikTok. It is August the 12th, 2026. It's a pleasure to have everybody in here with us today. We're going to talk a little Google Pixel. Maybe you could guess the theme of the show today by the thumbnail. Pixel hype train. What the freak is going on? Well, maybe gonna have, well, not maybe, we are gonna have a little discussion today as to the Pixel, where it stands, what you think. Did you pre-order? Did you not pre-order? Do you like the device? Do you not like the device? What do you think about the specs? What do you think about the software? Is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be a classic? Is it going to be a flop? Well, we're going to discuss that. Now, it's not going to be a super long show today. I got shit to do. I'm sure y'all do too, but we're going to get to it. Yeah, I didn't even watch it either. After last year's Pixel event, I don't think I'm going to watch any of them here moving into the future. Last year was hideous. Last year was literally the definition of cringeworthy. I literally went, yikes, and turned it off. And it looks like a repeat from last year. They didn't even talk about specs. It goes to show you how much last year's event goes to show you how much cachet they put into specs, right? It's like, don't look over here, look over here, software side. And that's all it was. It was a big software. Pixel can do this, Pixel can do that. I think maybe we'll do this in another show. I seriously think they're losing touch with us, with me and you. I think they are. And it's not just a Google thing. We're talking about them right now because they launched a phone today. But I think they're losing touch with the end consumer, honestly. That's how I felt today. Now, rolling into today, well, let's go back. Let's go back. And please, I want your input. I need your input on today's show. Comment. Did you get one? Did you not get one? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you like the way they look, but you don't like the spec sheet? Do you think they look girly? Are they for you? Or you might buy one, you might not. Let me know. This is a show where you get to voice your opinion. I'm going to at Google in this video. I'm going to clip out the very beginning, but I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to at them. I'm going to send this shit to them because it kind of has me a little pissed off today. So let's go back 6 months ago. I was like, hell no, I'm not buying another Pixel. Now, my Pixel 10 Pro has been sitting, I haven't even done a video on it in the last 6 months. It's been sitting in my drawer over there because after 200 charging cycles, the thing takes 2 hours to charge. I'm not dealing with that, right? Why would I do that when I got phones that'll charge in less than 30 minutes? So I was like, I'm done with them, right? And just to let you know, I was one of the biggest Pixel fans. Again, I'm sure y'all know, but let me just tell all the new viewers, I've had every single Pixel ever sold, even going back to Nexus. I even purchased the very first G1. That was their Google device that was sold by T-Mobile. So I think I have a little cachet built up with the company in the device. But after this one, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a break. And then, as we get closer and closer to today, you hear one day, oh, they're going to put this new OLED panel on there. Sweet. You hear the next day, oh, they're going to put a new modem in there. That's pretty cool. And then you hear, oh, the Tensor G6. It's not going to be a Snapdragon, but it'll have some improvements. I'm like, well, it's not a highlight of the device, but, as long as we're making improvements, okay, I guess. What else? So I kind of got excited, and maybe that's just me being a phone addict. Maybe that's just me loving technology. You hear all this stuff, all this good stuff, all this good stuff, and it just builds upon each other. And as of yesterday, I was like, well, shit, I think I'm going to have to get one. And then I woke up today, and I'm not going to lie. Y'all know I normally don't watch a lot of reviews. I watched a couple of reviews. And this is why I don't like to watch reviews, because I think it sways my opinion. And I watched 2 reviews, and then I stopped. I was like, damn it, I can't do this. I'm going to stop watching reviews. And I was like, and I was getting upset because it seemed, well, I'm sure y'all have seen a couple of review videos. Every single one of them shit on this Pixel. It had me wondering, why does Google even send phones to these bigger content creators that review these phones? Literally every single content creator was shitting on them big time. I was like, why do they send them? Why do they continue? And they did that last year. Why do they continually send them phones if all they do is just dog on this phone? But I was like, let me stop. And then I thought about it for a while. And then, I was talking with my wife. She's a bigger Pixel fan than I am. We were both a little down today because it just feels like the same old, same old. And yeah, they do have new OLEDs. Yes, they have new modems, but something's missing. And I don't think they're connecting well with the end user. And let me tell you what we did. So instead of me getting one and her getting one, what we're going to do is we just got one. We got a fog color Pixel 11 Pro. But it took some pressure to hit that buy button. Like, I was literally not wanting to push it. We're going to get one just to see what it's all about. And if I like it, I'll get me one. But here's the thing. Even if I do get one, it's not going to be my number one phone. It's not going to be my number one phone. Now, I know eSIM Studios, you would think, hey, I'm all about eSIM over here. eSIM is cool. I have eSIMs, but my number one phone line, my line that I contact friends and family with, I am not gonna switch to eSIM. I got a couple other eSIMs, but my main SIM card is a physical SIM card. Right? I'm gonna hold out as long as possible, but here's the problem: the US Pixel, all eSIM. So I wouldn't even use it as my main phone anyways if I did get one. Now, I just spent $4,000 on 2 Samsung foldables last week. I'm going to spend another $3,000 today on new phones that I'm not even excited about. So here's what I think is the problem with Google. As I mentioned at the beginning, I think there's a disconnect with the fan base. Like I was trying to think about it today. Somewhere in the last 12 months, or probably 18 months, probably 10, whatever, 10, 12, 14, 16 months, something like that. Give or take a year. 2 years ago, I was riding the Pixel train. And then somewhere in the last year, we just split. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with software, because in one of my previous videos, I mentioned if you want to make a classic phone, a badass phone, you at least have to hit on 2 things. And there's more aspects to having a really, really good phone. But you got to hit on the software side, meaning it's got to be nice. It's got to be fluid. It's got to be feature packed. It's got to be customizable. And I'm talking Android here. I'm not even talking about iPhone, because that's just a total mess. I'm talking Android. Android's far superior to iOS. Sorry, guys. It just is. Anyways, you got to have good software and you got to have good hardware. Well, here's the problem, I think. The hardware And a lot of it has to do with the heart and soul of the device, the CPU and the GPU. So the hardware is not that high. And I think as time goes on, I think they're going to have a software overhaul with the Pixel UI. Because if you compare Pixel operating system to Samsung One UI, it's not even comparable. And I have no urge to use a Pixel device. Now, the only thing I want a Pixel for is for the cameras. That's it. That's it. So I'm like, well, why? And I got up today and I'm like, why am I buying a Pixel again? There's something missing. And that's why I kind of wanted y'all's help as well. Like, what the hell's going on here? I don't know. Something just doesn't seem right with the Pixel phones. And I hate to come on here today and do this. I really do. But I'm just being honest. I wasn't going to come on here and fake being excited or happy. Are they shitty phones? No, they're not shitty phones. And here's the other thing too. If you take all other competition and you move them out of the way, right? You put blinders on and you just have a Pixel phone, meaning that's like the only phone on the planet. It'd be a pretty cool phone. But that's not reality. Reality is there's competition in any market. And when you have an S27 Ultra, S27 Ultra, I was thinking about an S27 Ultra earlier. When you have an S26 Ultra compared to a Pixel 11 Pro XL, is it even a comparison? Now I know the Pixel will probably take better photos. I get that, but I'm talking the whole package, right? And then unfortunately you have iPhones, which they're very popular with a large portion of the population. So and you have these Chinese Android phones that are killing it. So am I like, I'm in a very peculiar position today. I'm like, what? There's no urge to go get one. And I felt the opposite yesterday. And I think that's my own fault, getting hyped, kind of buying into the hype. But I didn't buy one, well, at least for myself. My wife bought one, but she wants to try it, but she was not happy. She was not happy either. So it's like, what are we doing? Like Google, what are we doing? And I don't know how they can fix it, but it just seems like there's a disconnect with the public. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad phone, again, by any means, but I'm just saying I'd rather use a Samsung at this moment than a Pixel. And I know it's some people that love Pixels don't like to use Samsung, and that's fine. I get that. And maybe that's to their own detriment, meaning the Pixel operating system might be a little boring, might be a little too basic. But that's where I thought they could make strides by adding features, adding theming, settings, and stuff like that to at least give Pixel users some desire to stay within that operating system. But I don't know. They're missing something. They're missing something. Did you watch it? I sure as hell didn't watch it. You talking about last year? It was bad. Yeah, I skipped it too. Just hey, listeners. R.I.P. Google. And that's the other thing too. That's something else I thought about today. Google is not a hardware company. Apple is a hardware company, meaning they sell products for you to use. Google, honestly, you think, it's a software company. If you want to be completely honest, they're a advertising company first. They make their ad revenue brings in more dollars than any other department in Google. Now, I'm sure their AI, they're kind of shifting towards that AI they sell cloud storage and stuff, and I'm sure at some point their cloud storage will generate more revenue than their advertisement department does. But for a large majority, if not 99% of Google's history, it's been an advertising company. They sell ads. That's what they do. And it brings in billions and billions of dollars. But they're an advertisement company first. They're a cloud storage company first. They're not a hardware company. Maybe that's the disconnect. Is that, and look, Google will survive if the Pixel brand, if their hardware, if it tumbles in, if it folds, meaning they don't have Pixel, they don't have any hardware to sell, they're still going to be fine. And I think it just dawned on me. That's probably the problem. If Apple stops selling the iPhone, guess what happens to Apple? If Samsung, if they stop selling, they don't just sell phones, but Samsung sells hardware, right? Computers, laptops, phones. Of course, they have washers and dryers and microwaves and TVs, but you get the point. Like, that's what their whole company is based on, is selling items for customers to use. Google will survive and be just fine if they don't sell one more Pixel phone, and that's probably the issue. Now that I think about it, is that they're out of touch with the customer. Namely, I think the Pixel 11 is an upgrade, but at the same time, it's not big enough upgrade to justify the cost. Yeah, if you go, they're already heavily discounted at launch. Like, you'll see if you go on Google's, and technically it is an upgrade, but they're discounted heavily right off of the bat. Like, when you get on their website, it says they got offers all over there. Oh, $300 off here, $1,100 off here, $600 off here. Oh, you only pay $499 with trade-in. And it's like, holy crap. You have to really dig down into that page to find the MSRP on the phone, because everywhere is displayed $300 off here, $400 off here, only $499. You're like, holy crap. Best Buy's got, $250 off, $350 off. They're sending out discount codes even before they go up for sale. So it's like, damn, they're really trying to discount these phones to get these units moved. I don't know. I think if you have a Pixel 10 series, in my opinion, I would just stay there. It's not, unless you live in a dead spot like I do, you might need that newer modem, right? Like, unless there's a very specific upgrade that you need, and that's honestly the only upgrade that I can think of that would push somebody over that threshold of buying it or not buying it. But it does make a difference, and nobody on the internet is going to talk about this. In my opinion, that's the biggest upgrade in the phone, is that new modem. It's fantastic. It gets T-Mobile's new 5G network. Pixel phones did not get T-Mobile's new 5G network on Pixel 10 and older. And AT&T also has a new 5G standalone network that it will get as well. And eventually, when Verizon gets a new their standalone 5G network, it'll get that here in a year or two. But if you live in a dead spot, that's where I would recommend you probably look into upgrading or getting a Samsung, because the Snapdragon modem gets fantastic signals. But other than that, there's real no need, honestly. Sundar needs to step down. Trust me, he doesn't need to step down. He's doing a fantastic job. You may disagree with me, but as I said earlier, he's not worried about the Pixel division, right? His big goal is revenue. And if you looked at quarterly earnings just recently, they broke quarterly earnings. He's not stepping down. He's doing a fantastic job. It's the Pixel department. It's the Rick Osterlog, or whatever the hell his name is. Blame those people, the heads of the department, not the head of Google. Sundar is doing a fantastic job as a CEO of Google. It's not his fault that the Pixel division's not pulling their weight. And again, they would be completely fine if they didn't sell one more Pixel. Yeah, they're not going to talk about prices and they're not going to talk about specs. It's just, oh, our new Magic Q and Super Zoom Res and Photo Boost and Video Boost and Night Mode. It's all the software stuff, right? And I saw they have this new content creator thing on this Pixel where you can have a teleprompter up there while you record. Yeah, but I can download a third-party app for that. I don't need a Pixel to do that. And then they have, they have a little, this happens every time. What the freak is going on? Why does he do this? They have a content creator section with their teleprompter. As I mentioned, I can download a third-party app for that. They have this new thing where you can have a certain file just for content creators. If you're working on a project, you can save pictures and videos to a project file. I'm like, whoop de freaking do. Okay. Has anybody told Google that the Photos app sucks? Like, nobody uses that. I just use it for cloud storage and that's it. That's one of the reasons why I love using Samsung over a Pixel is because of the gallery app. And I don't, it's just the Google Photos app is horrible. Like, the last thing I want to do is go in there and edit photos and videos. It's a non-starter for me. So that's kind of all fluff. And the other thing that Pixel is missing, if they want to be this content creator phone, yes, they do get fantastic audio. I will give them that. The audio, not only the speakers, when you play audio, they're very loud and very clear, but also picking up audio. So if you're vlogging and you have your camera, yeah, they do a better than any other phone is audio, but what about video? So they're missing a few features like dual video, what do they call it? Dual mode, where you can record yourself from the front camera and you can record from the back camera at the same time. Pixel doesn't have that. Now, the cinematic mode, Google, I think they added that to the front camera now, but I think it's only in certain aspect ratios or certain resolutions. But here's another thing that they're missing that iPhone and Samsung have is if you're recording a video, you can flip while you're recording, you can flip from the front-facing camera to the rear camera in the same video while you're recording. Pixel still doesn't have that. And I don't use it every time, but it is nice to have that feature when you need it, right? So it's like little things like that I don't know why they just don't add stuff in their phones that that's what's keeping me on Samsung is the operating system, and not to mention a few other things, but it's very frustrating if you're a big Pixel fan, and it's probably why I'm so upset is because I've used them for so long, and it's just a big nothing burger for me. Is Tensor G6 finally on 2 nanometer? Yes, they are. Yeah, Tensor G6 is on 2 nanometer. They sure are. And G5 was 3. No need to upgrade if you have a Pixel 10 series. Exactly right. I'm going to upgrade for sure, but that's only because I have the Pixel 8 Pro and said that if a Pixel 10 series device, I wouldn't upgrade if that's for sure. Yeah, I think that would be a suitable upgrade. And look, for as much as I'm dogging it, like I said, it's a good phone. And if you're a Pixel user only, I think you'll like it. But for somebody like me that has all sorts of different devices, it doesn't really add up, in my opinion, to using a Samsung. Like even if we buy one, that's why I didn't purchase one for myself earlier today, is because I feel like if I did get one, it would not get used. And I hate to buy a $1,500 phone for it just to sit on the counter. You see what I'm saying? Like, I honestly don't think I would use it. And it's nothing against them. It's just, I have other phones that I love using right now. And it's just, I would be like forcing myself to use it. But if you have an 8 Pro and you love Pixels, I think you'll like it. I really do. They are. They are. This year is interesting because I have not seen this much hate on Pixel device ever before. Ever before. I mean, it's everywhere. It's all over the place. And I didn't want to do this live stream and come on here and be just another person shitting on Google or Pixel. I think I'm more frustrated than anything, quite honestly. But yeah, the hate is big time hate. I'm like, damn, where'd all these haters come from? I don't even remember this much hate when the Pixel 10 series was launched last year. I mean, it's big time. It's under every single video. If you go in the comments, everybody is roasting Google. Everybody. Pixel's mid-range, honestly speaking, well, yeah, I mean, I can certainly see your point of view there. Price tag is not, but that's the problem, right? That's the problem right there. I am too, but I look, in the future, every device is going to be eSIM. Every single device is going to be eSIM. I just hope Samsung holds out a little longer than others. Now, they can do the good thing and throw us a bone. The users help us out by, obviously, they do offer eSIM and physical SIM, but hold out as long as possible. Because trust me, there's some people that don't like using eSIM. Now, I said I use both, but my main SIM that I call my family, friends on, that's physical, and I'm going to hold out as long as possible. But yeah, at some point they will switch to eSIM only. I just hope it's not in the next couple of years, because that would suck. This is by no means is meant to as a diss, but the target audience for new Pixel phones continues to be less techie people and younger people. Yeah, I think it's older people, period. I don't even think young people find this appealing. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought about it earlier today, because yesterday on the live stream I said, well, I recommend Pixel to my dad. My mom was using one before she died. My grandparents, my aunt and uncles. Well, that's why. It's basic. It's easy. If they just want a phone they can text and call on, that's it. Take some pictures, take some videos. Cool, right? I tried to switch my parents to a Samsung phone, and it freaked them out. Oh, they call me every day. How do you do this? How do you do that? Oh, I can't find this. Oh, I can't do that. Well, Samsung's a lot more technical. There's layers on layers of settings, customizations. It's just too difficult for non-techie people. You're 100% right. I think Google, this is a major concern for Google. I don't think young people find the Pixel appealing. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no clue. And they do independent studies of this, meaning like Google will hire a professional firm to find out. Go poll people, independent polls, ask people. They'll walk around New York City and find a target audience and just ask people, mark it down. They'll compile all their results. They'll present it to Google and say, hey, women under 25 would choose the Pixel less than a Samsung or Apple, and they said, well, trust me, there's independent firms that do this for as a gig. So I don't see a Pixel appealing to a younger crowd. I just don't. But I said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just an old person phone or a non-techie person. I get that, right? I get it. You're not into this like we are. Okay. Now, look, maybe Google can sell a bunch of phones off of that. I don't know. I'm dumbfounded. Like, I don't know where they're headed. My head's in the clouds. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. I would assume they have a direction that they want to go in. But as time goes on, it seems like their direction is not in line with my direction, if that makes any sense. And And maybe I'm the fool. Maybe I don't know what I was expecting today. Yeah, I got excited yesterday. And then I woke up today and I was like, why do I want a Pixel again? And it sucks because our options here in the US are getting less and less and less as time goes on. So I just crossed that one off the list. Well, my list is pretty freaking limited as is. So I don't know. I guess that leaves me with definitely not going to be using. I mean, I have an iPhone, but it's for the YouTube channel. I don't use it. So it only leaves me with Samsung. Really? Like, and I love my Samsung phone, but that's it. Now I guess I could get, hopefully Motorola will sell the second version of the Signature in the US next year. I've got my fingers crossed. But I'm just gonna have to step out of the US and go buy Chinese phones, right? The next Oppo phone. Maybe I need to look into Xiaomi from now on. And maybe that's their problem too. They're getting comfortable with all these phones leaving the US. They're like, oh, well, the less competitors, the better for us, right? Because it's essentially Apple, Samsung, and Google. And that's it. So maybe they're not that concerned. They know people have to upgrade, and they know more than likely the average person is definitely not going to go and get a Xiaomi on eBay or an Oppo phone on eBay. All right, they're going to go to their carrier, and they're going to upgrade to an iPhone, to a Samsung, or to a Pixel. So maybe Google's not that concerned. Those guys are literally rocking the flagship Pro iPhones at the same price. Yeah, they are. Literally very few people know about it. Maybe the top tier battery and performance are the ones missing. Yeah, that'll probably be one of the last features that they add on to their devices, because Google is clearly not concerned with performance. That word has never exited their mouths in Mountain View. It just, I don't know, but the lack of physical sim and battery cycle thing, yeah, is my issue. Like, if I want a Pixel, I'm just going to get an older one. Yeah, I don't know how y'all feel about that new Motorola Graphene OS phone. Now, I know it takes a little bit of learning that will be available. I think it's supposed to be in this year, but it doesn't look like it's going to launch this year. It's probably going to be 2027, the new Graphene OS that's going to be made by Motorola. But there's a little bit of a learning curve. It's just not your traditional Android phone. The Graphene OS, it's privacy concerned, which we all need to be concerned about, but there's a little learning curve there. It's just not your typical Android phone. And let's be honest, you can't go get one at a carrier as well, right? So it's going to be 15. I don't know how much it's going to be, but I'm assuming it's going to be expensive. That might be your best bet. The Pixel 9 Pro XL. That was the last Pixel that I truly loved. The Pixel 9 Pro XL. Maybe I'm just going to do that. Maybe I'll just get a Pixel 9 Pro XL, because that doesn't have the battery cycle thing. I would get something between the 8 and the 9 before the battery cycle management policy, but after I got the 7 years of updates and USB 3.1 display out, yeah, that's going to be a problem. The 9 Pro or 9 Pro XL is the sweet spot right there, because you do have a physical SIM card slot. You do get 7 years of updates. Well, I guess now it would be 5 remaining. Still 5 years. You get, DisplayPort, I think it has UFS storage 3.1, nothing to brag about. But remember, the Pixel 9 Pro XL outperformed the Pixel 10 Pro XL. So it still performs at a high level on Pixel level compared to the other models that are out. Since you're only getting one Pixel, you should buy an Oppo. Yeah, well, funny you say that, because I was thinking about that earlier. Because typically I do buy a Pixel this time of the year. So if I end up not getting one, and there's a very good chance that my wife returns the Pixel 11 Pro that she got, the fog color 512. That's the other thing. If you want 16 gigs of RAM, you gotta spend more money. And she was telling me that 6 of those gigs of RAM in the Pixel 11 series devices, 6 of them are going to be reserved for AI purposes or AI something. So you're telling me if you get the base model, 12 gig of RAM model, only 6 out of that 12 gigs of RAM is going to be a usable RAM. So you're bottlenecking your device right out of the gate, and that's why we chose to get a 16 gig 512 model. So it's like, it's just very frustrating that I'm paying the same price as I would a S26 Ultra, but you feel like you're getting half of the device. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, so I'm probably not gonna be getting one. So yeah, it's a perfect time to reach out and get something else. Now I think what I'm eyeing is the Oppo Find X10 Pro Max. X10 Pro Max this year. So I think that's the next, if I don't, which I don't think I am, going to get a Pixel 11 Pro XL. I think I'll probably get an Oppo Find X10 Pro Max. I think that one has my name written all over it, and I can't wait. And then I'll probably love it, and I'll probably get a Xiaomi at some point as well before the end of the year. I know they're coming out with some new devices. Man, you're telling me it's a shame that we're trying to be blocked from some of these Chinese smartphones. I think a lot of y'all, because look, minus OnePlus, I'm not familiar with Chinese phones. I don't think I've ever used them. I take that back. I bought a Xiaomi Mi 2 like 7-8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, when it was running Android 1, that stock Android operating system. Motorola had Android 1 on it. Remember, there was an HTC phone that had, maybe it was the M2, maybe it was the HTC, whatever. I technically have purchased a Xiaomi device, but I'm talking recently. So I think it's time I give them a shot. It wasn't as bad as the Jimmy Fallon one, and yeah, it was very similar to that one, but it wasn't as bad. Trevor did a better job than Jimmy. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm still not going to go back and rewatch it, but Jimmy Fallon was too goofy. You know, I think that was the other problem too. He's like, hey, ooh, you know, doing this and doing that, and you know, kind of, you know, bouncing around and smile from ear to ear, like it was just too goofy. I was like, you know, are you serious right now? And he's so not a tech person. Right? And I get it. He's looking for a host, not a nerd or a tech person. But holy crap. It's like, who is... Maybe they got a lot of problems in their Pixel department. But, like who sets this up? I know it's probably somebody in their marketing department, public relations department. It's probably really marketing. They're far removed from reality as far as what they think we want to see. But they want somebody that appeals to the average person, and I'm assuming they went down a list and they brainstormed and probably chose Jimmy Fallon because they thought he appealed to most people. And same thing with Trevor Noah. It's a safe pick, right? He'll provide some laughs, but he'll, you know, won't get stumbled on his script, and he'll move the show right along, and we'll move into from guest to guest to guest, because how they do it is they'll talk to the head of their camera department who is in charge of developing the cameras on the phone. And then they'll talk to the software person who's in charge of the Pixel software. And then they'll talk to, I don't know, each head of each department they'll talk to. Oh, and why'd you choose this color? Oh, I like that. You know, it's like, I don't know. Then I think I'm going to stick with my S25 Ultra until 10PF goes down in price for now. But Pixel 11 Fold looks nice. It looks decent. When it comes to Tensor, there's the 6th gen and it still sucks. It's barely doing the job. It's going to be the same next year too. Yes, I've thought about this long and hard after last night's live stream. And I think I can't not credit myself for this. My wife brought this up earlier. And I was like, you know what? You're 100% right. Google, I wish Google stuck on with Qualcomm, with the Snapdragon CPUs, like how Samsung is doing. You know how Samsung wants to use their Exynos CPUs so bad, but they still lean on Qualcomm for the Snapdragon CPUs because their own Exynos CPUs just aren't up to par yet. They aren't ready for the big time, for the big show, meaning you're fully running all your devices on your own CPU, right? And now they'll launch a series here with the Exynos, the FE with Exynos, the here and there, but they still use Qualcomm to lean on for the heavy tasks, the big boys, the S25 Ultras, S26 Ultras. Well, I wish Google did the same thing. I wish they were still working on their Tensor chips on the side or in the background, or maybe put your Tensor chip in the A series devices, but put Qualcomm Snapdragons in the Pixel 11 Pro, 11 Pro XL. See what I'm saying? Like, I wish it was a more of a gradual switch to Tensor instead of just kicking Qualcomm to the curb and, we're going to ride or die with this Tensor chip. Are you sure you want to do that? That's probably why Qualcomm trolled them 6 years ago on social media when they made the announcement that they're going with Tensor and no longer with Qualcomm. Qualcomm was like, okay, have fun with that. Because it has been a bumpy 6 years. It has been a rough road. I don't think there's one Tensor chip that you can even brag about. It's been a rough road. Now, who's to say they don't figure it out? Maybe 5 years from now, they'll have it figured out and they'll be on their way. But at this point in time, it doesn't look like it. I don't know. I think it's imperative for Google. Saying they made the right decision, I think in the long run is probably the right choice, but it's hard to say that right now. Like, I know there's so many more advantages to having your own chip that you control than leasing the technology or buying it from another supplier. There's so many more advantages, but holy crap, is it hard. Like, and I do troll Apple a lot, but you do have to give it to them. It looks like they've done a fantastic job so far compared to Samsung and Google. But it's been a long 6 years. It's been a long 6 years. Yeah, he doesn't, I mean, yeah, I guess Sundar has ultimate oversight over the Pixel division, but he's not concerned with that. Trust me. They don't bring in revenue like that. I mean, yeah, it's probably good to have your own device that you can sell and promote, and it supposed to bring in more revenue. But he's not concerned or announcing pixels, and he's not involved with that, right? He's got much more bigger fish to fry and stuff to worry about than pixels. Yeah, pixels basically just a way for them to showcase services. They don't even list Pixel sales separately in their own earnings call. Yeah, I don't even think that was a topic in this last earnings call. I don't even think the name Pixel was even brought up. It's all AI, it's all data, it's all cloud, it's all advertising, it's all Gemini, stuff like that. I don't even think, because I listened to some of it. I like to peek into some of this stuff, especially with the tech companies. And I didn't read all of the transcript. I listened to some of it for a few minutes, and I got sidetracked doing something, and then I came across the transcript, so I read some of the transcript, but I didn't finish it. But from what I saw, the word Pixel didn't even come up in at all. So goes to show you how much they care. So I purchased, 11 Pro XL Fog Light in tomorrow, and I'm going to pre-order the Pixel Watch 5. Yeah, so here's the thing. My wife, she had to settle on the Fog Pixel 11 Pro, but she wanted the peachy color one, the peach one with the gold trim. But here's the bummer with Pixel, and here's another reason why I think they're just, I don't know what the hell's going on over there. They have, okay, so let's say you're like Carlos and you want to get a matching Pixel and Pixel watch, meaning you want your Pixel to be a fog color and you want your watch to be a fog or silver color, right? Well, they have those. They got the watches kind of matching the phones. But guess what color they don't have matching in the watch? The peach color. I could just, and I didn't even realize that until she told me. We had to cancel her order and order her a fog one because she wanted the peach Pixel and the peach watch. Well, they got every color in watch except peach. So I'm like, this color is supposed to be a hit with women. All y'all guys know watching this. I'm sure there's probably not a woman. Well, there may be a woman watching this, but girls love to color match and do all that, girl stuff. That's a big deal to women. It's a huge deal. And how are you going to make a girl phone and you don't color match a girl watch? Like who's making these? Like, that sounds like a no-brainer, right? Like, who's making these decisions over there? It's like little stuff like that. I don't understand. It just, I don't know. It really bothers me. It's like, seems like a no-brainer, right? It's like, whatever. Well, the stock price is artificially inflated by the AI bubble. Yeah, it could be. You're late again. It's okay. What are we at? 48 minutes? Let's see here. All right, I got a few more minutes. Let's see. The modem, the TPU, and I read an article where it's mentioned that the Google through software optimization and silicon investments, the GPU should be better this year. Let's hope so. We got benchmark leaks yesterday, but did you notice those benchmark testing was just the CPU? They didn't test the GPU, and I forgot to mention that yesterday. But now it's got me wondering, because remember they fumbled the CPU, the GPU from last year. Remember the drivers were the drivers for the GPU were out of date right at launch, and it took them freaking 6 or 8 months just to update the freaking drivers. Now I was hoping we wouldn't have a repeat this year, but we shall see, obviously. When we get ours, before my wife signs into it, I'm gonna do a bunch of testing on it, test the GPU, see where those numbers are at, and compare it to all my other devices. So it'll be interesting to see what we get with that. Let's see. The most unexciting upgrade in a phone in recent memory. I canceled the 11 Pro pre-order and ordered 11. This phone is going to flop big time. So you bring up a great point. Thank you very much, because I wanted to talk about this and I did not get to it. I was so eager to go on a rant. I was so worked up that I totally forgot about this. So I really appreciate you and your input. The Pixel 11 is probably the best bet if you're looking to upgrade, but you don't want to spend a ton of money. There's a strong case for just getting the Pixel 11, sort of like the iPhone 17, right? Why spend damn near, seems like, twice the money when you can get 90% of everything you wanted in the iPhone 17 Pro? We'll just spend like 60% less and get the iPhone 17, all right? So the Pixel 11 has got new camera sensors. It's got a slight redesign where the camera bar, the island doesn't stick out as far, right? So you got new camera sensors, upgraded camera sensors, the same 2 out of the 3 sensors that are in the Pros, in the Pro XL. So you're almost getting the exact same camera experience. What else? Hang on. I took notes here. Give me 1 second. I actually prepared for a show today. Let's see. I took notes here. So automatically, how could I forget? You save money. It's a lot cheaper. I think I just mentioned that. I think the starting price for the Pixel 11 right off the bat is $200 cheaper than the Pixel 11 Pro series. Now, on the memory side, you get either 256 or 512. Now, if you bump up to 512, I believe you're still getting 12 gigs of RAM, because I was looking at that earlier today on the Google website. So no matter what storage variant you pick, you're only getting 12 gigs. So it is cheaper. You get the same Tensor G6 and GPU, for whatever that means. They're not watering down your experience when it comes to the CPU and the GPU. So you're getting this essentially the same camera experience. Again, 2 out of the 3 sensors that are on the Pros that are on the regular one, $200 cheaper. You get the same G6 Tensor. And fast charging. You still get fast charging, which we'll talk about here in a second. So they don't bog you down with slow charging like they have in the past. So, and it looks basically the same. And you get bolder color options with the Pixel 11 series. Now, it is a smaller build. I think it's 6.4 inches. So there, you miss that. If you like and love big phones, you're not going to get the XL experience. But if you just want the latest and greatest, it's probably the one to get. Anyone notice when they went to Paris, there was no French people? I totally missed. Are you talking about the launch? I totally missed it. What's going on, Daniel? Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of my family members. They all love Pixels. Now, they're not tech people. We still have one. Look, I still ordered one today. I just didn't order 2. So, it is what it is. I love my Pixel 10 Pro XL, but wish the systems weren't as slow at times. We'll see on web and video content. You're talking about... Huh. So you mean just overall operating system? Google should have kept Gemini Pro for 12 months, included with Pixel. Yeah, I know, that sucks. I think they bumped it down to 6 months. And that the Google Gemini Pro, I know they've adjusted some prices over time this past year, and they bumped it down. I think the Pixel 10 came with a year. This Pixel 11 only comes with 6 months. It's getting more expensive. Let's see. Would you try out an Honor phone? Yeah, sure. I certainly would. They don't have Android, but you can install APKs, right? I believe that's the case. Yeah, I certainly would. 6 months for new Pixel devices. If you're in the US, you can only import an Honor phone. What's the best place to get it, though? eBay? You think Motorola is getting a bigger presence in the US, but it's still tiny compared to bigger players? Yeah. I just wish they would bring a flagship phone to the US. Like that Motorola Edge, it's okay if you're getting it for your mom or for a grandparent, but, or it may be a second phone, right? Maybe you have a business line, whatever, but I certainly would use that Moto Edge as my main phone. I mean, I would rather use that than an iPhone, to be completely honest with you. But they need to bring the signature to the United States officially. They need to bring the second version, the second iteration of the signature. I'm begging you, Motorola. I'm begging you. Officially, you would sell a lot of them. I'm telling you, you would sell it. People would love this signature if they actually could buy it at a carrier. Or shit, just buy it from Motorola's website. Like, it's a fantastic phone. I don't understand why they don't make it. There has to be something going on behind the scenes. You know, maybe it's made somewhere where they get taxed heavily if they sold it in the US. I just, man, we need another player here in the US. And I'm not just talking about budget phones or like a nothing that has mid-range phones. I'm talking about a flagship experience. You just got the OnePlus 15. I ordered, oh good, the other day during the live stream. The manufacturer date is from end. Oh sweet. So that's like, that was like one of the last ones out of the manufacturing plant. OnePlus is still making them, but not selling them on their website. What color did you get? Did you get black or did you get the Sandstorm? Man, that's good. That's fine with me. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeve. Color OS. Oh, it's just, I was going to say, I could have sworn you already had one. And you've already had the Oppo Find X9 Pro. I'm very familiar with ColorOS. I like ColorOS. I do too. I never used one, but it looks cool. It looks fairly similar to Oxygen OS. I'm looking forward to it. Daniel says, I didn't like that they spent basically no time in the G6 GPU discussion. Last year it was the same. Yeah, and it was a bad sign. They couldn't flaunt that tech. They spent more time on the Titan M3 talk. And they never mentioned the modem as well. Now, I get it. They want to appeal to the masses. Security is a big thing. But not even a word of it. I know. Kind of side-eye them. Well, you can see who they're trying to appeal to, and it's clearly not us. And the only thing that's lacking on Exynos is modem and battery life. Thermals, but yeah, battery life. Someday they'll get it right. At least I hope so. You need Exynos to be a treat to keep the price of the Snapdragon in check. Yeah, you do. And that's why that's one of the benefits, one of the many benefits of manufacturing and designing, having total control over your own chipset. That's one of the many advantages. Man, the allergies here are crazy. My nose is itching like crazy. Yeah, I totally agree. One more upgrade like this, and I think it just like Microsoft, they might discuss moving off the phone, move into ARM. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? At least, well, they would basically be admitting that their Tensor experiment was a flop. I think part of me thinks they would rather just stop selling Pixels altogether than admitting that the Tensor project was a flop. Honestly, I highly doubt that. I think they're in for the long haul. I think they are all in on Tensor, and if it flops, they flop, right? Like, I wish they would use an ARM or a MediaTek. Maybe that MediaTek modem. Maybe they were getting their foot in the door with MediaTek. They make some badass CPUs. Right, the Galaxy Tabs, the flagship S10 Tab, S11, and the upcoming Tab S12 from Samsung. They use MediaTek CPUs. Pretty good. They would look mighty nice in a Pixel. Fingers crossed, but I think the chances of that are pretty low. But you never know. Weirder stuff has happened. With the Pixel Watch 5 champagne gold color, but unfortunately it's only Yes, I'm sorry. That's correct. That peachy color one, Pixel that my wife wanted, but they didn't have a matching watch. They did, but it was only in 41. So my wife wanted a 45 millimeter because of the bigger display, bigger battery life. So thank you for correcting me. So technically they did have it, but it was only in the 41 millimeter and not 45. So yeah, thank you for clearing that up. It did? Huh, I'm gonna have to look at that. The redesigned Pixel Buds Pro 2 is via dark day for Google overall. Certainly did not get me excited. In fact, it did the opposite. I woke up in a bad mood today, And it's my own fault, obviously. But I was like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? Yeah. It sure is. And matter of fact, I think after this, well, I think I got something to do here in a second, but I think here later on tonight, maybe tomorrow, I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger on a Pixel 9 Pro XL and call it a day. The new, oh yeah, I already read that. Google Fi is given a minimum 300 instant discount plus any other deals you have with new Pixels. Yeah, they have really, really good deals, and that's something I noticed right off of the bat. They have a ton of deals. I mean, if you get on the Google website, it says only for like you have to really search to find the MSRP on these devices, because trade this in, get 300 off, trade that in, get 400 off. Oh, it's only $499 with trade in, $599 with this. I'm like, well, damn, there are so many deals. T-Mobile, get one on us. Verizon, free Pixels, AT&T. There's a lot of deals. So, look, if you need to upgrade, if you have an old shitty phone, or your battery is swelling, or your phone stopped getting security updates, and you need to upgrade, and you like Pixel, please, by all means, get what you like. Get a Pixel, whatever, 11 Pro, 11 Pro XL. I'm sure it will be a nice phone. I don't want to make it sound like, they're just throw it in the trash. It's certainly not that. It will be a good phone if you know what you're getting into. Now, if you have a Samsung phone and you say, you have an S25 Ultra, I'm going to give Pixel a try, and you get a Pixel 11 Pro XL, I wouldn't really suggest that. I don't think you're going to like your experience. But maybe that's who it's for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to end this just by shitting all over them. But me personally was a little disappointed today from being hyped up, right? And I think I fell into my own little trap. I love phones so much that I get excited, and I'm like, ooh, we got a new Pixel, a new phone coming. And then I wake up today and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I just see this and that, and they look so disconnected from their consumer. Well, maybe it's me that's moving away, right? Anyways, I don't want to repeat myself, but when it's all said and done, it'll be a decent phone. It will be a good phone, but like for what I am looking for in a phone, I don't think the Pixel 11 series holds it at the moment. I'll just leave it at that. So I got to run out of here. I have a few errands to run. I do appreciate the time. Join me tomorrow. I think we're gonna do a giveaway tomorrow. I need to do a giveaway this week. Tomorrow sounds like a day to do a giveaway. Join me tomorrow. Giveaway Thursday. Have a safe, enjoyable rest of the afternoon and evening, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the giveaway. Peace.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.